It's only 5:30. It's winter and it is 91 degrees, believe it or not. And we have a beautiful sunset on the other side. This town is called Campinas. It has a population of about 1.2 million, so it is a big town. Yes, security is a big deal here. When I left Brazil back in '83, this fence, I have been living in this house, my parents have, since 1971, 72. The fence used to be about this height, and more was added, then eventually was replaced. Some places they have, as you can see, on the top of the walls, they have little nails so people don't jump. There's electric fence. I know, it looks different, huh? And then I put some security cameras just for the heck of it. And so I did grow up on this street. This used to be actually a little soccer field that I grew up on this street. We had a very, very healthy childhood. All the neighbors here, most of them were here since the same time that my parents were, in the 70s. A lot of them moved. And we pretty much get to know all the neighbors here. And that's kind of fun about living in places like this, because everybody knows each other. Nowadays, of course, what we used to do is just kind of hang out, sit outside behind or underneath one of those lights and just kick back, relax, and just talk about life. That's our summer days. But nowadays things are a little more dangerous, so everybody, when it starts to get dark, just kind of goes inside their house. We had those little trash bins that you just put your, it's called the sabia bird. I don't know what you call it in English. Anyways, we do have beautiful birds. And this is the first time I saw this. They changed those trash bins with those more American style. And everybody pretty much has a dog as an alarm. This seems to be one of the few houses that stayed the way they were when I grew up. Because most of them, because it's close to the city, they changed it into some sort of business. So here's like haircut. Other houses up on the top, they're like engineering companies because of the proximity to the city. Here we do have my favorite soccer team, Guarani. So I grew up just walking down the street to watch my team, but now with the corona problem, then the games are not happening. That's a little dove. You can't see. I wish I flew my drone today, but there's a beautiful sunset there behind those buildings. So when I grew up, pretty much this whole area was a big empty lot. See all the street over there? They're pretty much all businesses. Those buildings, there used to be just one in that avenue. Now it's kind of covered with buildings. There's a big metropolis now with all those buildings. For sure I missed the 80s. This place here used to be just like parking lot. This is a soccer stadium, but it's also a club. So it has swimming pools and other facilities for you to enjoy during the weekend. It's different in the traffic here. Red light after 7 o'clock basically means go, don't stop. You're not allowed to turn right when the light is red. The gas, of course, is by the liter. Now it's $5.49 a liter. There's also methanol, that's $4.29. So most of the cars here are flex, that they use gasoline and they use alcohol. This actually used to be the only building that was in this neighborhood, a commercial building that was built in the late 70s. Used to ride a bike on the parking lot and just kind of go up down the elevator, and then everything else came after. I used to sneak in, go to the top, top level of this building because then I could watch the soccer games for free. And all these used to be residential areas, just homes. There's no buildings, just houses. I guess this is a used car lot. So the popular cars here, Hyundais, all the more expensive ones, the Audis, and they have a lot of the Renaults. Those are usually the cheaper ones. And they had what else? The Volkswagens always existed here, the Fords. Until the 90s, we only have like 4 or 5 different car companies. Oh, here's a little, this is new. There's a little dog shop. I've never been here. Interesting. See, I'm recovering my own town. Basically, this is just my neighborhood, so I'm not actually going towards the city. The city is where the sunset is, and that would be about half an hour walk from here. So that's why the downtown expanded. There's no more place to go, so it started coming down to the neighborhoods like mine. Some people can afford nice things. There's the Toyotas, the Chevrolets, Fiats. Fiat is another popular brand. Rentals by the US standard, I don't think it would be very expensive. Some place like this probably might go around, let's say, maybe about $400 a month. But what makes those places unaffordable is what they call the condominium. So you may pay $400 for the rent of the apartment, but you have to pay $200 for the condominium, and that's basically just for the maintenance of the building. So this is kind of a major intersection where if you go over that bridge, it was built also around the 70s, late 70s. I remember when it was being built. Then it'll take you downtown, then also those other buildings there go towards the city. And there's a popular neighborhood called Campinas, very traditional. They had a lot of mansions in that area. So let's go back. This may look familiar, eh? AM, PM. And this is the place that you go when you're out in the night, don't have any place else to go. Usually this is open 24 hours. And then they have a Padaria, which is bakery shop, and a lot of other goodies. So something that it's nice to talk about sometimes, the prices. So this is about, you just divide it by 5. So a Heineken is $9.49 each one of those little bottles. So it's about $2. But you can go to the supermarket and get Brazilian brand beers for about 40 cents. Guaraná, very traditional drink here in Brazil, and we can find it in the US. It's very, very tasty. It's made out of this fruit that you find in the Amazon, and this one is only $6.99. Budweiser is $6.99, so it's about $1.30 or so each bottle. So it is a bit expensive. So let's walk out and go back to the house, and there will be other things to show you along the way. I don't remember if it's a municipal law or state law that you're supposed to wear your masks, but of course many people aren't. And I remember this, there used to be a little kind of creek / little river that crossed town, and they put some contention walls. But I remember when this happened, as you can see here, this is kind of broken. Because what happened, every time it rained, this whole street or avenue became a river, a rushing river. You'd see cars rolling, you'd see bicycles rolling with people in them. And then one time it was so bad that to let the water go from the avenue back to the creek, they just start taking this whole contention wall, or at least the bottom of the wall. They took it out so the water could kind of rush in and will alleviate the flood on this avenue. I remember this day because it was fun just to be nearby watching what was rolling. This is a very popular pizza place. Usually things in Brazil for dinner do not start until 7:30, 8 o'clock in the evening. So now it's still 5:30, a little after 5:30. And all the restaurants will be pretty quiet. And then some families, they just go out to eat 9, 10 o'clock at night. My neighborhood is Jardim Proença. Jardim, it's Garden Proença, I guess it's a historical name. I don't even know if there's a translation for it. And this is new as well. I don't know if it has been like 2 years or so. They create this path, this bike pathway. People walk and ride their bikes all the way down this avenue that's probably about 2 kilometers. Here, by the way, people don't stop for the pedestrians, so you have to be very careful when you cross the street. And this supermarket has been here forever. Since I was a little boy, I remember this place. So even though it says red light, you have to be careful and watch for it. See? And also what happened, I told you about the showers and the rushing water came down this avenue. It would always flood the supermarket. Sometimes it still does. Well, some of the exotic fruits, well, this is not exotic, but they have the guava fruit. A lot of the apples are expensive. I'm not gonna do the conversions if you're interested, but then here we have a $7.99 for the Fuji apple. That's per kilo. The vegetables are pretty much the same. There's the squash, the potatoes. There's one that's different, but you can find it in the US. Well, here's something that's very expensive. This is like 21 reais. This is the Brazil nut. So 21, that's about $4 for just this much of little Brazil nut. So some delicacies are expensive here. Bananas also by the kilo, so they're cheap. There's something we call the finger banana. Look how big they are. Different types of mangoes. There's mango, pears. They're not very traditional here, so they're going to be a little more expensive. There's a star fruit. This is a small supermarket, so they're not going to be furnished with everything that you can think of. But it has plenty for the neighborhood. If you're looking for your eggs, milk, those kind of things. Your sausages to make our traditional Brazilian feijoada dish. Black bean stuff. Here's something that you can compare with. This is like a medium pizza, I guess, US size, and that's 25 reais, so that's about $5. Coca-Cola, $2.89, so that's about let's say 55 cents or so. Other place I forgot, I think was like $6.90 or so per bottle of Budweiser. Here's $4.29, so you do have to shop around a little so you can find cheap stuff. Here's the traditional Brazilian beer, original, the Antarctica beer, only $2.39. So that's about 40 cents. The Stella Artois, how much are they? I don't know. There's a Budweiser, there's your Heineken. That's Amstel, I don't know where that's from. There's Beck's. And this is what we need in the US, the bakery shop. So you can choose which bread you want and they just pack it up for you. Boa tarde. Tem integral? Vê uns 8 pãezinhos pra mim, por favor. So you ask how many of those little French breads you want. They're always fresh, delicious. I asked for 8 of them. Let's see how much they are. $9.76. So let's round it to 10. So that's about $2 for 8 little breads. And bakery is not really their specialty. They're just part of the supermarket to have the little bakery shop, just like in the US. but they make nice cakes. 79 reais. That's about 13 bucks or so for a little chocolate cake like this. Yummy, 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 yummy. I'm not doing sugar, so forget it. Wine person, of course, you have your wine selection from all over the world. Brazil does have a region in the south that's famous for wine, so you can find a lot of them here. But something that's hard to find is a sparkling water. There's only like 2-3 types and they're not flavored. So I can get my water. The only one that actually has a little flavor. Actually, this one does not even have the flavor, but it's about 50 cents per bottle. I bought 2 of them yesterday and looks like they ran out. The one that had the little lime taste. It's a bummer. Oh, here's some also different. Here's the famous Brazilian drink, the cachaça. This is the cheapest drink you can find in Brazil, pretty much, and it's very alcohol concentrated. And there's a liter bottle, about a liter, and 10.79. That's about 2 bucks. And usually when I go back to the US, I take one of those bottles back, because in the US you can find this one particularly, and it's about $22-23 a bottle. So $2.21. I prefer to pay the 2 bucks since I'm here already. And on other supermarkets they have a larger section of the cachaça. As you can see, the supermarket, it's pretty much like in the US. Of course, different products. You do not have much of an Asian section or Mexican section. The little butcher shop, they have different cuts. The meats here are less expensive. So here's like, for instance, the filet mignon, and it is $64 a kilo. But if you convert it compared to the US, this is much cheaper than the US. Those little kitchen gadget things, they're expensive. We can go to Dollar Tree and find things like this. And of course, you're not gonna find anything here that's gonna be $1. Your pots and pans, your frozen food section, and of course beer everywhere. Actually, this one was on sale before. The Corona, $5.79, so that's about $1.10. Huh, I found it before for like for 4 reais. So you know, the sales gonna change every other day. So they give you plastic.
Era para ela tirar em cartão, ela tirou. Já. Boa tarde.
Tarde. Não. Não. So a couple of things they always ask when you're checking out. They ask if you're a client, so if you have like a frequent shopper card. And no, I don't. Just like in the US, I guess you put your telephone if you have a number. And the other thing they ask always is if you need a CPF. That is a number that the government gives you for like controlling how much you spend and everything. But I guess that's just to maintain people honest, you know, so you get a receipt when you shop, so people don't kind of steal things or whatever. But also they say that at the end of the month they do a drawing to get a prize. I've never seen that before, but I guess that's what's supposed to do. So everybody has this CPF number if you're gonna purchase something, a house or a car or whatever other goods you need to buy. That's a document that you need to have in Brazil. This is a traditional pharmacy. Like this is different than the US. The pharmacy, like Walgreens, Rite Aid, you're going to find, you know, pots and pans and all kinds of different things. The pharmacy here in Brazil is it's basically pharmacy. Basically pharmacy. I saw this guy sleeping here the other day. He's sleeping here again. So this is the pathway I was talking about. It's nice and warm for those of you guys that want to run away from the winter in the US. Pretty much anywhere in Brazil except deep south It's gonna be always warm. The creek river that I was showing used to run this whole avenue. This used to be all dirt roads. There used to be no buildings here, they're all homes. And they covered it up. It's nice to have the convenience. There's another English school. It's nice, a bank. So it's nice to have those conveniences. But it took out the neighborhood for sure. So if you see, like on this side, there's one building that used to be just a home, and of course eventually, or I guess it is already transformed into a business. Oh boy, that's sad. My city is growing too much, and all those palm trees. Here we go. Should you attempt risking your life? I guess so. You just open this during the weekdays, but there's a newsstand. Yeah, they sell the newspaper, magazines, but of course times have changed. See, if somebody in the US opens one of these in a Brazilian community, you'll be rich. That's what we need in the US. Baker shops like this one. You know, this is a real bakery shop. All those goodies. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. Olha que delícia. This is a church, of course. I used to be an altar boy in this church when I was 11, 12 years old. The masses are being held, but of course following the social distancing. And today's Sunday, so today's the Sunday Mass. And getting close to home, where I lived pretty much my whole childhood. Beautiful night, beautiful sky, beautiful moon, and all those houses. What I used to do when I was a child, I used to come to the neighbors. Actually, each neighbor would get up in the summer. We don't have the traditional summer job like you have in the US, where you can go to work for McDonald's for summer type of thing. So I used to come and start knocking everybody's door and, hey, let's go play soccer. That's what pretty much we did. Woke up at 8, by 9 o'clock we'd play soccer, go have lunch, come out again in the afternoon, play soccer, go home for dinner, come back, and then just sit outside and stay under a light and just talking and BSing about things we did. It was a fun time. I really miss those days. So some houses remained the same, but some of them, they have a little sign saying that this is like a accounting firm or some other type of a business. And tomorrow, especially this little street where used to be our soccer stadium, when you come in the morning here, it pretty much is all packed up with cars, because all those houses here became businesses. So, ending up here my little video showing my neighborhood to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Next time, I guess, we'll see other things here in my city.